welcome to our AP1 webinar with Osprey. I'm joined by a number of guests today. So we've got my colleague, Kelly Cutler, who's our knowledge manager here at InfoTrack. I'm also joined by Dave Dingle, the account manager from Osprey, and our wonderful guest, Karen from Farnworth Roads, who deals with post-completions and registrations. So this webinar is going to be available on demand, but please don't leave just yet, okay? Any questions, please pop them in the Q&A and we can cover the questions afterwards. So without further ado, why are we all here? So in April 2021, the Land Registry took a giant leap to moving away from paper-based processes, and they launched the Electronic Digital Registration Service, or EDRS, as if we need any more acronyms in the legal world. More than 100,000 applications have been received through this service. Requisitions on basic errors are down 25%, and applications are processed and completed in half the time of an uploaded application. This means law firms are saving time and, best of all, reducing their risk. From November this year, the Land Registry will no longer accept scanned or PDF copies of AP1s for changes to existing titles via their portal. However, the good news, InfoTrack already has a solution in place and has done for some time. You'll be able to use our AP1 service, meaning no one needs to reinvent the wheel. And secondly, you can take advantage of the integration as our AP1 product links directly with other products integrates back into Osprey. So without further ado, I'm now going to pass you over to Kelly, who's going to walk you through the AP1 and show you this further.
Thanks very much, Rich. So as mentioned, yes, I'm Kelly Cutler. I'm knowledge manager at InfoTrack. So I'm just going to briefly go through what those changes are at Land Registry, and then I'm going to show you InfoTrack's solution. I'm just going to switch my camera off because I'm sure you'd rather see the presentation than my face. So bear with me just 1 second and I'll share my screen. So here we go. So the digital AP1 mandate, what does that mean? So from November 2022, we will no longer accept scanned or PDF copies of AP1s for changes to existing titles using the Land Registry portal. Currently, up to 80% of AP1 submissions involve uploading physical paper documents. So what's the change? The current submissions are electronic applications known as the EDRS, which are a PDF or a scanned form, which are uploaded onto the system for it to be read and reviewed by a caseworker as part of a manual process. The digital registration service, known as the DRS, is when information is added in as data in predefined fields. Capturing it this way allows the system to read the data and check for any errors. So no EDRS, we're moving to the DRS. So what are the reasons for Land Registry going digital? Because of current manual process delays and costs, high number of requisitions, high volume of support calls, so see there's long waits and poor service, lack of requisition management tool, and to protect the register's data integrity. So what does it mean for the industry? It means quicker processing times, digitalization of the process, online guidance for submissions, fewer errors and reduction in requisitions, and the opportunity for further innovation. So things a law firm must consider. You need to consider change management, so change challenges. You need to get ahead of the change and don't get stuck in the backlog. November will be here before you know it, and you want to make sure that you've made that jump already. Because you need to consider staff training catered to individuals and obviously ongoing real-time support. In terms of productivity, again, registrations will be digital only, so no more paper or PDF forms. You need to consider software suitability, so your integrations, and the ability to liaise with the caseworkers. And then from a compliance point of view, audit trail and how to report to regulators, full firm visibility of all matters, including requisition management tool, and key dates automation. So what are your solutions? A new digital process through the HMLR DRS service, or Land Registry partner integrated through the business gateway like InfoTrack. Just to give you some stats on InfoTrack, we are Land Registry's key business partner and biggest user. We've been doing digital AP1 since 2016. We have 6 years of continuous software improvement. We reduce requisitions by up to 30%. And we've done over 550,000 submissions a year. So we're actually nearing on 600,000 now. Digital AP1s by InfoTrack, what they look like. You get full guidance and expert support for every application. You have form flexibility, so you get multiple forms in one application, like shared ownership and staircasing matters. We're integrated with the leading CMS as well as lender panels. It's a one-page form pre-populated and linked to HMR's STLT5 and electronically signed deeds. And you get our unique AP1 dashboard with application overview, auditing tools, requisitions, and cancellations. Looking ahead, we're going to continue to invest in more experts for additional support. We're going to continue to expand our integration partners. We're going to add new lender management panels, and we're going to continue to reinvest back into the system. And there's a testimonial from one of our long-standing firms who actually use both STLT and AP1 through InfoTrack. So now I'm going to move on to walking you through InfoTrack's end-to-end digital AP1 submission and management software. Switch screens there. So AP1 can be found in the post-completion workflow naturally sitting behind the STLT, where we similarly integrate with the HMRC, allowing you to digitally submit your stamp duty returns. Using both the post-completion services allows you to submit these in under 5 minutes. As I've mentioned, InfoTrack released our AP1 product back in 2016, and we continue to work very closely with the Land Registry to develop the business gateway services across the Land Registry services. What you see here is our latest AP1 software, which has been built with the aim to make your post-completion process faster, more accurate, and reduce the potential for unnecessary requisitions. As I click into our AP1 form, you can see here is our one-page smart interactive form. And like all InfoTrack products, your matter reference tells us about information already contained within your matter, depending on whether you're accessing InfoTrack from a case management system or depending on the orders you've already placed with us, we can populate up to 90% of your AP1 for you. So if I put my matter reference in, it's so important when it comes to reducing the time it takes to complete your AP1, removing the need to rekey information and reducing the potential for missed information. On this matter, I've already ordered a register and submitted my STLT return. So as we work through the form, you'll be able to see how much information is already pre-populated for you. All required fields are asterisk, so you won't be able to submit your application with missing information. Registration type is our first required field, and for Land Registry portal customers, you should be used to selecting the registration type. But if you are unsure as to the registration type to your application, head over to our FAQs for definitions plus lots of other AP1 tips and tricks. Today, we're going to be running through a simple discharge, transfer and charge application affecting the whole of the title. So dealing is the relevant registration type. Our title number has already pre-populated over, but we are able to add on further titles here. And we'll also verify the titles automatically for you, showing the address and if there are any pending registration status, reducing the risk of cancellation of your application due to an invalid title. We've also pre-populated the local authority and the postcode for you. So we can now move on to selecting the priority applications we're looking to change the register with. Simply select the drop-down to see the wide range of application types easily identifiable with their form code and description. We also organise applications into common forms and form bundles, and making it quick and easy to select common applications like discharge, transfer and charge. And just like most forms, our AP1 form is about working left to right, top to bottom, reviewing the information from your file and documents and completing the relevant fields. We also integrate with our Sign It for Deeds product. So where your deeds have been electronically signed, on selecting yes, we'll automatically look for and upload your conveyance's certificate into supporting documents. If your deeds are not electronically signed, then you can simply upload them here and confirm their certification. For those who are integrated with case management systems, here you'll be able to assist or select files associated with this matter only. If you need to move the order in which your application type should be registered or removed from the title, simply drag and drop them. There's no limit on the number of applications you can submit, in one AP1. And if you can't find an application that matches your deed, simply select AP1, change the register, upload your deed and proceed to the next section. If we move further down, we'll automatically calculate your lead application fee using the pre-populated consideration value from your STLT submission. And as we move further down, we'll automatically attach your STLT5 for you, reducing the risk of it being forgotten and a requisition being raised. Here in supporting documents, you'll be able to upload any supporting file like consent forms, power of attorneys, countersigned documents, and so on in one place. If I go to the right-hand side, you'll see that we've added some handy guidance when completing the sections, plus tips to help reduce common requisitions. For new users that maybe start to submit without any prior knowledge of the paper AP1, these guides can really help users better understand the sections and the land registry requirements. Now we're going to move on to party documents. Party details, sorry. Here we've split what traditionally was panel 13 into 3 manageable sections: applicants, proprietors, and other parties. As missing or incorrect party information is a common cause of requisitions, we wanted to group information in a way where you can move through the sections consciously, ticking off the required fields from left to right without having to jump around the form or clicking through multiple pages. As you can see here, the majority of the work is done for us. The applicant's name and your details as the lodging conveyancer are already pre-populated. We can also complete this applicant's role field because you've told us that you're lodging a transfer and charge. All that we need to do here is enter the lender's details for the applicant's new mortgage. You can simply start typing and we'll suggest relative banks populating their address for service too. We can also confirm our details as the lodging conveyancer, and if your firm's process is for support staff to create the AP1s and then conveyancers lodge the application, simply select the lodging conveyancer from a list of users within your firm here. You can update their contact details here if needed. Now we can move on to the proprietors section. We call it this because we know that there is a transfer being lodged, and so a registered proprietor will be a transferor. As we've ordered the register on the matter, we're able to populate the proprietors' names here. We can also populate the conveyancer's details from the STLT submission and again associate the borrower roles for the discharge application and transferor for the transfer. If you have any other parties within the application, then they can be entered in the other parties section here, and you can select from the drop-down list available. So if we have power of attorneys or beneficiaries, they'll be added under this section. As we've built the form, you'll notice on the left-hand panel, we'll update with key information to help you review the information supplied as you go. In the associate applicants section, the task is simply to review the application. We have the 2 borrowers for the discharge and the transferee and the 2 transferors for the TR1. And then we have the borrower and the lender for the charge. All that's left to do is to complete the address for service for the applicants. You can enter the address for service for each proprietor yourself, including their postal, email, or DX address. Disclosable overriding interest is defaulted to no for ease, and again, to speed up the time it takes to complete the form. If you are also on the LMS panel, we have what I like to call an integration within an integration. You can simply select the drop down here and link your LMS case to your application LMS case number, and will automatically send them your submission receipt and then completion of registration details once your application is complete. Then we move down to the notes section. We have it's a fully flexible form. So if you have any information that you would like your caseworker to be aware of, you can put that in here. We also integrate with our MRO1 lodgement software, and we'll pre-populate the certification wording straight into the notes section for you here as well. Finally, here at the bottom of the form is where you can confirm the credentials used to submit the application. These should be stored in your InfoTrack settings, but on occasions where your land registry's EDRS account changes, so you update the password, you can update them here as well. You can also include any third-party recipient information for all correspondence about this application. So simply select a colleague from the drop-down or select other user to manually enter the details here. On save and print, we'll populate a paper AP1 form for you so you can review or download and print and share where required. We'll of course send you an email over or send the file back to case management. If you're happy to submit your application instead, we'll send your EAP1 to the Land Registry instantly. We'll return a submission receipt showing your application's Land Registry reference, so you know that the application has made it to the day list and therefore has priority. So going back to the main screen, I'm now going to show you our AP1 dashboard. Our AP1 dashboard really does allow you to review and manage all of your applications across the firm, so key dates aren't missed, and so you can stay up to date with your post-submission task. For added help, we'll also show you key dates like OS expiry and warning of cancellation dates on your right-hand side calendar, which I'll show you in a sec. So here's the AP1 dashboard. You can filter using these boxes on the top ribbon here, such as requisition acknowledged, cancelled, completed, etc. We also have a handy export tool, which allows you to put your submissions into a CSV file, and you can filter through those for any auditing purposes. If I go to one where we have a requisition acknowledged, this is your WhatsApp style chat that you have directly with your caseworker. You'll get submission receipts and all your requisitions will come through here, and you can free type to the caseworker for anything you need. You can also check the day list for any pending registrations. You can view any related files to your AP1, and again, you can add in any additional recipients here. Going back to the messaging tab here, we have some handy little features such as being able to add any internal notes. You can request HMLR action, should that be an update, extension of time, cancellation. And you can respond to the requisition here. So we've also added this feature in regenerate details. We know panel 13 is a real pain point, and it can be there are spelling mistakes or party roles are incorrect, and you can make the adjustments here so it does it for you. So if I add that in, it's going to put it in a format down below that we know the Land Registry are going to accept and not push back and delay any further with any requisitions. You can add any additional parties, or again, it's just a free type box that you can message your caseworker directly to. You can also upload any documents you need to send to your caseworker. Again, along with this, we have our FAQs for further support and guidance. Along with the dashboard, I mentioned the calendar, so you can look at AP1 cancellations, OS priority expiry. So if you click into the calendar, you can say view by month, and it allows you to be super organized. And along with our dashboard and our FAQs that are able to help you, we have our expert help desk that are able to support you and guide you through any requisitions and any of your applications. So you can always give them a call and they'll be on hand to support you. That's our AP1 solution. I'm now going to hand back to Rich.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Kelly. We've had a few questions in. How do I pay the registration fee?
How do you pay the registration fee? So your registration fees are usually direct debited from your Land Registry account, or obviously linked to your EDRS credentials.
Excellent. Can I cancel an application via InfoTrack?
Yes, you can absolutely cancel your application. It's very easy and quick. You can do it via the request action option, and you can just follow the drop downs, and we'll even pre-populate the application's Land Registry reference number for clarity as well.
Brilliant. Do you lodge a paper AP1 form also? We've had that a few times actually. Yeah,
no, on submission, you're sending the Land Registry an electronic AP1 form as data, because there's no PDF or paper forms anymore.
Perfect. And then lastly, how do I know whether I have EDRS credentials?
It's just you need to check your Land Registry account.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Kelly. If you do have any other questions, just pop them in the Q&A or in the chat box, whichever is easier for you. And without further ado, if we can now bring on screen, where's Karen? Hold on, let me just minimize this and move that across. Okay, Karen, if you can just turn on your camera for it. There we go, and then just unmute. Perfect, like clockwork, fantastic. So Karen joins us from Farnsworth Rose, who deals with post completions and registrations at the firm. Karen, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
I guess starting off with, obviously, with the integration and the use of AP1s, how does the two-way integration with Osprey help streamline the workflows?
Because of the pre-populated fields, it does help streamline. I mean, for instance, this morning I've been working on a completion. I've done a stamp duty return through InfoTrack, and when I come to do the registration, I know the stamp duty return is going to be in there, and also the land registry district, the title numbers, everything is going to be pre-populated when I come to do the registration in a couple of weeks' time.
Excellent. And then given that large percentage of submissions is now pre-populated, leading to a higher level of confidence in the accuracy of the data, do you feel more confident that there will be a reduction in errors or maybe any raised requisitions?
I find once I think I've been using the system for about 2 years now. Before that, I did use the old AP1 paper submissions through the land registry portal. I do find it much quicker, and also there are so many prompts that I do find requisitions are down a lot. There are requisitions that you can't avoid, but requisitions that are avoidable are certainly reduced.
Excellent. And with the integration, how does the submission and monitoring of your AP1 applications, how does that work?
It works very well. I mean, I do have diary notes anyway, so I have 2 sets of diary notes, so I'm not missing things. Certainly with LMS, the integration with the LMS system. So I also have a separate diary entry because we have to update LMS on a monthly basis, particularly because the land registry is so far behind. It's taking so much longer post-COVID, and I suppose post their updating of all their systems as well. So whereas we used to get things back in a week or 2, it's now it can take a week or 2, it can take 3 months, we don't know. So it's important to have a good diary system to be able to update those outside parties as well.
Excellent. And I guess lastly, what would you say to firms who are still submitting their AP1s manually come November the 2022 this year? They're going to have to, they're no longer going to accept PDF or scanned copies. Well, what would you say to firms still submitting them manually?
Oh, I'd say you really need to move on to a digital service. I found with InfoTrack, it is so much quicker. The odd time that I do actually prepare a manual AP1 for something out of the ordinary, my heart sort of drops because I think, oh no, it's going to take so much longer, and you're repeating all the information that you're having to type manually onto an AP1, whereas with a digital AP1 through InfoTrack, it's all there and you're not repeating yourself.
So it basically just kind of works the whole digital aspect. I think one of the attendees had their hands up. Unfortunately, we're not allowing the attendees to talk. So if you do have a question, if you can just pop it in the chat box below. Karen, thank you very much for the insights from yourself and the Farnsworth Rose team on how you use the integration and InfoTrack's AP1. Without further ado, if we can just bring up Mr. Dave Dingle to the stage as well. So Karen, if you there we go, perfect. Welcome, Dave. Could you just give our audience an overview of the relationship between InfoTrack and Osprey and how the integration works?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning to you all. Just firstly to point out that whilst we're obviously talking about the AP1 submission today, this isn't new functionality that we've just recently developed. We've had very close-knit partnership with InfoTrack for some time, and the AP1 submission has been part of that integration process since day one. So really just kind of mentioning that to let you know that it's a tried and tested solution. And as Karen alluded to, you know, they've been using that functionality for some time. Also, just to mention that when Kelly actually performed her demonstration, she was entering the client and matter details manually. When you've got the integration with Osprey, all of that is completely automated for you. So when within Osprey, you simply click on the InfoTrack button, and then all of that will be pre-populated for you without you actually having to do anything. Also, just worth mentioning that for any of our clients that have our integration subscriptions, they can actually use this integration now. Also, we appreciate that, particularly with conveyancing, the profit margins are relatively small, and anything that we can do to reduce the administration within the process, we appreciate will be very welcome. And what we've actually done in terms of our integration is that to improve those efficiencies and processes, we've actually incorporated a number of workflows that work in conjunction with InfoTrack. The idea behind those workflows is that it allows you to maximize the efficiencies of all of the services that we work in conjunction with InfoTrack, including obviously the AP1 submission. The workflows take you through the process of capturing the right information at the right time. And then when it comes to the AP1 submission, all of that information is automatically populated. And as you saw within Kelly's demonstration, it reduces that need to cut, copy and paste between different systems. And then really finally, just to add that if anyone would like to see a more detailed demonstration of that interaction between Osprey and InfoTrack, i.e. the entering of the data into Osprey, how we pass that into InfoTrack for those submissions, and then the responses and the information that we get back from InfoTrack, we would be more than happy to facilitate those discussions and demonstrations. And if anyone on this call wishes to do that, then please feel free to simply reach out to our support department, and then we'll organise that meeting with you. So that's really all I wanted to mention. I'll hand back to you now.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Dave. We've had a question, but this might be for Kelly. However, I'm going to try and answer this because it's I've done very many of these. How do we deal with first registration applications? If I remember rightly, Kelly, the land registry still requires the first registrations to be submitted via the post, as no title number has been granted. Would that be correct?
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, that is correct. Well done. Well done. Full marks.
There we go, Wendy. There's an answer for you there. And as Dave said, if you're looking at the integration between InfoTrack and Osprey, you can either contact your InfoTrack account manager, just simply email sales@infotrack.co.uk, or you can simply just contact Dave and the team over at Osprey. I'm just going to put in the chat is the video for the integration between us both. This one doesn't show the workflows, but it will give you an idea of what the integration looks like. You can also see this over on our YouTube channel as well. So that's in there. Just a quick reminder, there is a webinar tomorrow that we're holding at 11 a.m. Understanding changes and options for digital AP1 submissions with HMLR and InfoTrack. And this is with Andy Roddy, who's the Senior Product Manager at the Land Registry. So I'll just quickly pop that link if you wanted to join that. So if you haven't had enough Land Registry talk, you can join that one tomorrow at 11 a.m. Without further ado, I just want to say a massive thank you for joining us. We're just coming up to 11:30. So a big thank you to Kelly Cutler, our Knowledge Manager, for the overview of the AP1. Karen from Farnworth Rose for giving us insight into how the firm uses it and along with the integration. And then lastly, Dave Dingle from Osprey giving us the overview, and obviously get in touch with him if you want to learn more about the integration between our two companies. If you do have any other further questions, just simply email sales@infotrack.co.uk. And without further ado, I wish you a great morning and see you soon. Bye-bye.